We've got a TV show now.
Yeah, it's like this.
Yeah.
Stupider.
But should we talk about this on the show? Should we start the show?
Oh, yeah, we should.
Let's start the show.
And you, friendless, brainless, helpless, hopeless, do you want me to send you back to where you were, unemployed in Greenland?
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, the most popular podcast in Dayton, Ohio. Please welcome your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hey, I'm Darin.
I am Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is episode 132.
We are excited.
Oh, yeah.
I went on a rant this weekend because of Apple and how much they suck.
Yeah.
And Beth said, hey, you should talk about that on the podcast. So here I am, obliging.
And years ago, I've never told this story on the podcast, and I don't know why I haven't. But when I worked at my last TV station, we made a valid attempt to book an interview with David Letterman.
Okay.
And while we did that, I pissed off one of his big writers. I'm telling the story tonight.
All right.
How you doing?
I'm okay. So what's a big deal in your life that we have to do this on a Monday night? What the hell?
Oh my God! This week, both my sons, one has a concert on Monday, one has a concert on Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
On Wednesday, I have a dinner planned with a reunion with people at my old station.
Okay.
Thursday is my 21st wedding anniversary.
Good Lord.
And so if we pushed it off till Friday, then it'd be way too late to put this thing together, to turn the video around for all our Dayton viewers who are watching. Hi, Dayton. Yeah.
So you messaged me and you said my schedule, I think if I'm going to quote you exactly, you said my schedule is not on fleek.
No.
This week.
It's whack.
It's what one would refer to as jacked.
Yes.
And we've got to do something. You said potentially we could record Sunday night or Monday.
Yeah.
And then I was looking at that in the midst of trying to figure out how to put this damn thing on the TV.
Yeah.
And I think I sent back something like, well, I guess we'll just have to quit doing that or something.
You were ready to hang it up.
I deleted the folder.
Screw this.
Go f yourself. That's where I was.
So, yeah.
I hope none of that came over.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But, and then I thought about it and I said, we'll do it Monday night.
Right.
And then that'll free up the whole rest of the week for me to do whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm a
So
fan.
you kids listening, this is a Monday night special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am
They're never going to know.
No.
I'm
typically completely off my game on Mondays. And you're saying, Mike, geez.
You're telling me you're on your game
Mike, you
other
are
nights?
always so coherent. You are such command of your language. You don't do things like say and like all the time. You don't bring up Bono every second of the show. You do none of these things. You are, as they say, fleek.
On fleek.
On fleek.
Yeah.
What are we going to get on with Monday Mike? Monday Mike is a whole different animal. This is Mike that has come off of a weekend of self-abuse. Self-abuse meaning I rose my sugar levels to an ungodly level.
What, Chunky Monkey ice cream?
No.
Okay.
No. Jordan almonds.
Okay.
Ate the whole bag.
Okay.
Chocolates,
Yeah.
the little chocolate things like you get for
I know what
Sweeties,
chocolate.
those
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
the boxes you're supposed to give to someone else.
Yeah.
Bess gave me some chocolates.
Aw.
I ate probably about 1/2 of the box.
Okay.
Meant to last a normal human being a few weeks.
Yeah.
I ate half of it while sitting over there grinding my camos and also drinking a Monster Energy drink.
Yeah.
I gained back all the weight that I lost last week, which is why I'm furry.
Yeah.
And it messed me up. So Mondays are the day that I detox and come down from all that.
I also gorged myself. My buddy Don and his wife Janine came and visited us. Now, I've known Don for, I think September makes 30 years.
Okay.
We became friends when we worked at WJHL in Johnson City, Tennessee. And we've been great friends ever since.
Yeah.
So they came and they brought their little girls, and so we made burgers and hot dogs.
Okay.
And I gorged myself on burgers and hot dogs.
Yeah.
And then since there's a lot of kids, I bought chocolate chip cookie dough, and so we made cookies and ice cream. Duh.
Yeah.
And then since there's kids in the house, I haven't had any soda in the house for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Almost 5 or 6 weeks. No soda at all. Oh. And I bought some Sprite, and I've been throwing back Sprite like somebody who stopped smoking, and then you take a puff, and then
Yeah.
I love it. And so, well, great. So Tubby
yeah.
I'm Tubby again.
On top of all that, Charlie came up to me last night, probably about 8 o'clock, and said, will you take me to Minix, the little drive-through grocery thing that we have down the street here?
Yeah.
And let's get some snacks.
Okay.
And he got a blue Fanta and a tub of cotton candy.
Okay. Oh.
So, yes, I bought my kid a tub of cotton candy and a blue Fanta at 8 o'clock on a Sunday night.
I heard your dad went into a restaurant and ate everything in the restaurant, and they had to close the restaurant.
You know, I only eat cotton candy if it's pure cotton. So don't give me the poly-cotton nonsense.
Yes.
Thank you.
So,
and welcome to our Dayton
show.
fans. Speaking of Dayton, the day we're recording this is February 27th. Mm-hmm. This is the day that our show premieres on the TV in Dayton on CATV Public Access. Yeah. And I have on good authority that our show, Mike, are you sitting down?
I'm right here.
The most popular show ever on CATV. Did you see MASH? You remember MASH? Remember the numbers that MASH got? Uh-huh. Well, we're not like that. But nowhere close. In spirit.
Yes, in spirit.
Hugely popular. Yeah. They're going crazy. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably because of our lead-in, the William Pace show. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah.
I looked at all the shows around us on the schedule, and I like, this is going to confuse some people. People are watching the Farm Report. They're watching somebody complaining about taxes, and they come into us, two bald guys making jokes for an hour, and then they go right back to whatever crap that they were watching. Yeah. And periodically, I think there's a church on there that has a show. There's a guy that shows movies that apparently has nude people rowing boats. I don't know. Check your local listings. That was the picture that came up. I mean, we
need to get him on our show.
Yeah. Some interesting things. There was a lot of video from the side of stages. I don't think they had the authority or the okay to take that video and put it on public access, but it's there. Yeah. So
what you're saying is the public access channel that airs our network, our program, is doing something illegal?
I'm not saying illegal. Okay. I'm just saying not on fleek.
Oh. Okay.
They're doing something a little
I didn't know if we were going to have one of those Letterman goes to CBS or NBC situations. So
I had a little thing happen to me this week.
What was that?
We got an iPad on Christmas.
Okay.
Christmas was
in December.
Yeah, a few months ago.
Yeah.
Okay. We set up the kids' account, gave them their own Apple account. Part of the reason we got a new iPad was so that they would have their own Apple account. Side note, I've been forced to use Apple for the past 15 years now.
Yeah.
Because a lot of companies use Apple. I've had an iPhone, a company iPhone. No matter where I go, they seem to be using Apple. And here's your company phone. And they always want to have your Apple ID in there. Well, I have my Apple ID in there. Well, we had this iPad. It had my Apple ID. It's old. It was time to get a new iPad. Let's do this. But this time we're going to give the kids their own Apple ID.
Okay.
Right? Because I want to keep my work and all that stuff separate from everything else.
Yeah.
So I spent probably a good hour and a half on Christmas morning setting up Charlie's new Apple ID. We picked a password together.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. We did all this stuff. It was easy. I mean, that's one thing is like Apple makes getting in easy. It's kind of like those things where the raccoon sticks their paw in, and there's blades going the other way.
They
and they
grab it,
the shiny,
and then they can't pull their hand out.
That's Apple.
Yeah.
So then, a few days after Christmas, I noticed that Charlie keeps using the old iPad, and I'm like, Santa just spent a lot of money on the other iPad. Why aren't you using the other iPad? Yeah. I know it's more on fleek than the iPad that you're currently using.
Yeah.
I don't know how to use it. It's the same thing. Well, I can't get into it. Well, you can't get into it.
Right.
Show me where you, and he tries to get into it and it says hello.
Hello.
Like it does when you first take it out of the box.
Right.
Now, I personally set this thing up.
Right.
So I said to him, what'd you do to it? You know, as nicely as I possibly could.
Right.
And we went back and forth on, I think I did this. Couldn't figure it out. It kept saying, what's the passcode? A little 6-digit passcode.
Yeah.
He couldn't remember what he put in there. I couldn't remember what he put in there. I never wrote it down because I don't write these things down because I'm an Android guy.
Right.
All right. So when you screw up your password on an Android, they'll send you an email and they'll say, hey, are you this guy? And you say, yes, I'm this guy. And they'll say, we're going to send a text to your phone. What number did we send to your phone? 83. 83? Okay, you're that guy. Here's your account. You're good. Apple, they don't do that.
Right.
All right.
Why not?
They locked the iPad. I tried. I was like, okay, I know like a few 6-digit numbers that are famous in this house.
Right, now listen carefully. Type in exactly what I tell you. Understand exactly, nothing else. 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. Now press execute.
You know, we're not a very secure family. So I'm like, there's probably 3 or 4 options I could use.
That's the same combination as my luggage.
So I started putting in numbers. All of a sudden it says, this iPad will be available in 5 minutes. Please come back then. What the hell?
5
so then
minutes?
I start Googling, you know, all kinds of things that I can do to get into it. I come back. I try another code that says, this iPad has been locked for 15 minutes. I'm like, bull.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're locking my iPad? I bought this iPad. This is now February 26th that I'm doing all this stuff.
Right.
I tried here and there to get into it. We're going to get into this thing. We paid money for this.
Right.
We're going to get into it.
Yeah.
Long, really pissy story, very short. Apple put me in timeout. They said, we've locked your iPad. We've locked your account.
Mm-hmm.
We will send you an email to your address associated with the account to let you know when we're going to let you back into your account. But we, the security team at Apple, need to go through and make sure that you are who you said you are. By the way, this is after it already messaged my work phone, the other iPad, to make sure I was me.
Yeah.
Turn on the location settings. It said you're in the same household as these other 2 devices.
Yeah, you usually do that once.
Enter this code, put the code, emailed the code, put the thing back. So that's like, okay, we know that you are you.
Mm-hmm.
You're in timeout.
Hey, what happened?
How long a timeout?
I don't know. They were going to email me yesterday to let me know how long the timeout was going to be.
Yesterday?
I haven't checked the email yet. I've been too pissed off. The point is, I know at some point AI is going to take over. Skynet's going to happen. The Terminators are going to walk the streets. It's going to happen.
Are you Sarah Connor?
I'm okay with that. I let Google know everything there is to know about me. Google will ask me random things that it really shouldn't know.
Yeah.
How much toilet paper do you use in a typical bathroom visit? I freely tell it. It'll listen to this conversation. I'll probably get all kinds of things from Google saying, hey, maybe you should read this article on how much Apple sucks, or maybe you should read this thing.
Yeah.
I get that. Here's the thing. Apple does the exact same thing. All right. But they lock everything away. Now we're getting into where I really think they suck.
Okay.
They spent all this time. They've always been the artist's computer. Okay. Back in the 80s, I've been an anti-Apple guy since 1985 when I was sitting in school and we were forced to watch this commercial on a VHS TV that the teacher rolled in. Apple, the wave of the future, was the Apple II or whatever computer.
Right.
And they were putting Apple computers in the schools to get kids on the Apple computer so that they would ask their parents for the Apple computer, and that becomes the computer.
Yeah, it's like giving them heroin.
Yeah. The first Apple mouse had 1 button.
Yes.
IBM said you need 2 buttons.
Right.
Apple said you don't need 2 buttons. IBM put 2 buttons on there.
Big face.
People, that wasn't the exact ad.
Paraphrasing.
It wasn't the exact ad campaign, but it was close.
You don't need that. You.
But then what happened? A few years later, Apple starts putting out 2-button mice. All right.
Yeah,
They've
I love
had
how you call it mice.
Mouses.
Yeah.
The phone, Apple was so happy with the fact that it had 1 button on its stupid phone.
Yeah.
Okay. The Android phones came out, they had 3 buttons. Why? Because people need buttons. What's the problem with having, I would be okay with 10 buttons as long as they say what they're supposed to do.
I like to push buttons.
So now on my Apple
My
phone,
remote control has like 40 buttons.
Example, on my Android phone, I push a button that brings up all the tabs that are open, and I go and close them all.
Yeah.
That'll really work on an audio podcast.
Yes.
On an Apple, you have to put your code in, bring your finger up, stop, and wait just a second, and then they'll show you all the tabs.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to put another button on there.
Yeah.
It's annoying how much they try to make this a user-friendly. We don't have all these buttons. It's a beautiful device. but it's useless. Now, at least when Steve Jobs was alive in this mortal coil and running Apple, they would do cool shit. All right. They would be this annoying company that only has one button, but then they would do like crazy, like, the thing where he had all the music goes on this one device. Bill Burr had a thing like, I want every music, every song there is in my pocket. Go, make it happen. Yeah. That kind of stuff. They don't do that anymore. They don't innovate that type of stuff anymore. Now, all they do is they keep changing their cables. We have so many iPhone cables and iPad cables in this house that we can't connect. By the way, it told me I could get my iPad back if I plugged it into the computer. The cable that came with the iPad, which is the only one that it'll use. We have other Fire cables, but it won't use them. It will only use the one that came with the actual iPad. The other side of it is not USB. It's some other weird connection, and it won't connect into my thing. It'll only connect into a Mac.
I have a question.
Yes.
Remember the railroad system?
Yeah.
How they made the universal railroad system?
Yes.
Not international, universal.
No.
So if they put trains on Mars, that track will fit any train.
Yes.
Every train, Mike.
Yes.
Every train.
Yeah.
Universal railway system.
Yeah.
Why can't they do that with phone cords and chargers?
We have so many cords in this house. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I'm terrified to throw any away because I have skinny cords. I learned this last year. The skinny cords only charge. The fat cords have to carry the data. So if it wants you to connect it to make sure it's an iPhone, and you put a skinny cord, I'm sorry, there's not enough wire there for me to see what this is on the other end. There's only enough to charge it.
You know that joke? Ohio man decides to keep box of old cables for one more year because you never know.
Yeah.
I swear to God. Last year I had that box, right?
Yeah.
And I went through it. I was about to toss everything, but lo and behold, in there was a cable that I could use. Because one of my sons lost their cord to their phone.
Yeah.
I hooked it in, and did it fit?
So I could go on and on about Apple. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to shut up about Apple, but I am going to relay one more story.
Okay.
The first time that I cursed out loud in my office at my job was when I tried my Apple phone kept dying. And I learned that you have to plug in the power cable. You then have to unlock the phone and allow it to use what's been plugged in.
Oh, that's bull.
Yeah. And I will tell you exactly what happened, exactly what everyone in the office heard. Is when I did that, popped it up, and then I saw the little lightning bolt, everyone in the office, you got to be kidding me. That's what they heard. And one of my coworkers came in, Mike, are you okay?
Yeah. No,
I'm fine. Did you know that you have to put a password, that lightning, that electricity, photons need a password to get into your phone? I'm not carrying around the nuclear codes.
Right.
I don't have the genome project in this phone.
Yeah.
The most I have is I check up on this podcast about every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I post stupid about Steven Seagal and Arnold Schwarzenegger on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
And I watch stupid
memes,
homicide investigation interrogations.
Okay.
That's what I do with my life.
You're still on the okay.
Yeah, they're getting a little boring now, but I don't need my phone locked down like Fort Knox. I don't need a team of geniuses at the Genius Bar. Gag me with a frickin' pile of Bring your phone into the Genius Bar. I'm not taking my phone to a Genius Bar. They don't have customer service. Okay. Best Buy has the Geek Squad. Apple has the Genius Bar.
Genius Bar.
Genius Bar.
I thought you said Genius Barn, like dress barn.
No, I would take someone to the Genius Barn
because we know geniuses love to hang out in a barn.
Some of them cows really, once they get that hoof on that one button, they're good. Genius Bar. Kiss my from the backside.
Wow.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we'd like to thank Apple for being our next sponsor.
What's your favorite color of dishwashing liquid? Tell us now on our Facebook page or at irritabledadsyndrome.com.
Couple of weeks ago, we ended the show, and I said, I'm going to tease ahead. And I teased a story that we were going to talk about the next week. And that's that I hate the word thrice. A few weeks before that, you went off the chain. You couldn't stand the word delicious. And I thought, let's start throwing in other words that we hate. And I hate the word thrice. And I said, that's what we're going to talk about next week. Did we talk about it? No.
No.
I teased it, and we didn't talk about it, so I apologize to all you viewers and loyal listeners out there who were looking forward to this rant on the word thrice.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Daddy lost his mind. So I hate the word thrice.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. It's stupid. Okay. And so I understand once.
Yeah.
If you do something one time, you can also do it once.
Yes.
Once is unnecessary.
Yeah.
I don't understand why there's once or twice. Okay. But you look at Lionel Richie. You got once, twice, 3 times a lady.
Not thrice times a lady.
Not once, twice, thrice a lady. So by Lionel Richie's standards, we do not need the word
we don't.
thrice. Thrice sounds like a disease.
It does.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a case of the thrice.
Exactly. I got a bad case of thrice.
Yeah.
It's my head hurts. My
didn't-
skin is falling off my elbows.
Yeah, I didn't put the toilet paper on the toilet before I sat down to poo.
You will get a bad case of thrice.
Now I got the thrice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not the thrice.
Oh, you don't get
Please.
the thrice?
No, it's thrice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got thrice. I got full-blown thrice.
Full blown out the ass thrice.
You get twice.
Uh-huh.
And if you don't get to the hospital fast enough, it goes into full-blown thrice.
But, so there is thrice, but there's nothing for four.
Force.
Yeah. Fives.
Yeah. Fifths.
But it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And so Webster's, Merriam, I call on you, remove that word from your dictionary. So I'm normally not for censorship, but in this case, that word should just be removed. Nobody uses it.
Yeah, see, one thing that Bess and I love to do is use the old school words.
Okay.
I don't think we've ever used thrice. I will say things just to see if I can make her choke from laughing.
Right.
I wait until she's like taking a drink or take a bite of the burger, and I'll say, "Could you sever that in twain and give me half a portion?" And and then see,
Right.
But I've never used thrice.
Yeah.
Let me try to use.
How many times have you been to that restaurant? Thrice. No.
If I've told you once, I've told you thrice times.
Yeah. It makes no sense.
Told you. I guess you don't have to say times with thrice. It does save.
I've told you thrice.
If I've told you once, I've told you thrice.
Yeah.
I've told you fourths.
Boy, me and my lady had a great night. We did it thrice.
We had a thrice way.
Hopefully we don't have to edit that out for our Dayton viewers.
We'd like to welcome our Dayton viewers. Fresh off the farm report.
Right after the William Page show.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Yeah.
I learned that this is a Van Dyke. Van Dyke.
That is a Van Dyke,
Dyke. Okay.
Without the mustache, it's the goatee.
Really?
With the mustache, it's a Van Dyke.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought the whole thing was a goatee.
Nope. No,
Really?
I did too. The whole thing is Van Dyke. Without the mustache, goatee.
Without this,
Yeah, if you just
the
have
Magnum PI.
If you just have exactly, that's a mustache. Jesus. If you have just the hair on your chinny chin,
yeah.
that is a goatee.
Speaking of mustaches,
Or a goatee, not a goatee. It's a goatee.
Mustachios.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of mustaches, I have 2 favorite moments in The Gray Man, because Chris Evans has a mustache in there.
Right. Oh, and it's a
My first favorite
porn
moment.
star mustache.
Well, I'm sorry. The second favorite moment is when Chris Evans shows up and he has the mustache.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow.
Okay. Yeah.
They did that. My first favorite moment is when, in the middle of a fight, Ryan Gosling points out the mustache. He's like,
Yeah.
you going with the mustache? That's
Yeah.
what you're doing?
That's
and then
hilarious.
they get back into the fight.
Yeah, it was a pretty good.
I dug it.
I liked it.
I dug it.
Fine.
We saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Quadrophenia, yeah.
The
Exactly.
wrestling movie.
Hey, we're in the quantum realm.
And I liked it. I didn't. So now I get the Darin meme. That was my favorite thing. I was like, I get the Darin thing. with the
MODOK.
guy.
Yeah.
MODOK.
Darin.
Darin.
Hey, Darin.
Darin, hi.
I actually now care about Kang the Conqueror. I thought
Okay.
he was stupid
Yeah.
up until probably about 80% of the way through the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started seeing, when Ant-Man was like splitting into different versions of himself, and then
Right.
Kang has all these different versions. Like, oh yeah, I can see how this would get really out of control.
Yeah.
I dug it, but that wasn't mine. I took Charlie to see it.
Okay.
Me, Bess, and Charlie went while Andrew was having a sleepover.
Okay.
My favorite part of the movie was Charlie decided we were going to watch The Little Stingers at the end of the Marvel.
Yeah.
And Bess was sick of sitting for 3 hours, which the movie is 2 hours.
Yeah.
The beginning previews, she timed them.
25 minutes,
yeah,
right?
25 minutes.
Is it 25?
Yeah. Plus another 5 for
Nicole
Kidman and her bull.
Yeah.
You sit here to be amazed.
Because you are.
You are. And then the popcorn flying at your face and shut your trap.
Yeah.
It's a movie and don't
I don't
text.
know.
Just shut the hell up and put the damn movie on. And of course, they have a Scream trailer.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Everyone knows that they're taking their kids to see
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
It's anyway. Okay.
So, no, I agree with you.
So Charlie,
why you got a screen trailer when there's kids here?
So Charlie says, "Well, I leaned over and like, do you want to watch the thing, or we can watch it at home?" And he's like, "I don't watch it." I was like, "I got to go to work this week.
Yeah,
I gotta, this is gonna." But
the way I see it, you've been there 2 hours and 40 minutes.
It was our night out at
10?
the movies, and I had fun. But half of the fun for these things is watching him react to them, and he loved it. He was just telling Andrew how awesome this movie was. So we sit through all the things. There's only us and like 3 other people in that at that point. Yeah. It was in the IMAX. Was the only one that had the time that we could do.
Okay.
So
the 3 of you cost $219.
Yeah. So Charlie said, "I want to see what it looks like from up at the top." Yeah. So we go up to the top and we look out over where the exit is, and we're expecting there to be like a long drop down.
Is there a balcony?
Well,
like balcony seating?
The IMAX goes like this. All the seats are going up.
Uh-huh.
There's the exit down at the bottom. There's an exit at the top. It just says exit.
Okay.
But we didn't know that there was an exit at the top. We thought it was just saying, hey, over this direction is the exit. So we looked over the railing expecting to see a really long drop, and we saw something like 3 or 4 feet below us. And we're like, what? It looked really weird and creepy.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, we're going to explore this.
Yeah.
So we went around there. We go to the exit door. It's clearly not a door that they meant anyone to use.
Right.
We go through it, and now all of a sudden, and some of you more hip or on fleek viewers who are familiar with the back rooms. Are you familiar with the back rooms?
Oh, I've been to several back rooms.
Okay, so we went into the back rooms at this point. No, it's a thing.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
Ask your kids when you get home. What's the back rooms?
What's the back room?
It's a creepy, it's like a new horror meme.
Uh-huh.
But it's like a creepy, nondescript office building type thing. It's like when you're in a
Five
place...
Nights at Freddy's?
No.
Okay.
No, that's like puppets that are attacking you.
Yeah.
This is like if you've ever been lost in like a hotel or an office building.
Every hotel I get lost in.
Like you're in a place you're not supposed to. The walls are like this weird yellow.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a 70s thing. You remember the carpet in The Shining?
Yes.
The way the hallways in The Shining look. A lot of it looks like that.
Okay.
It's just weird with fluorescent lighting. There's something creepy about it. It's weirdly lit. Just look up the back rooms when you get home. Like people have made virtual reality things around it. Anyway, that looked like that. And Charlie, I knew that like he was all into the back rooms. Like, dude, we are in the back rooms right now. And he just like, he's like, we got to explore, Daddy.
Yeah.
And we went around, and it was creepy because they have, you know what the hallways look like in the movie theater places? Like here's this theater, that theater, that theater. They had that, and they had the little title things that say what's supposed to be in there, but the characters were all screwy. And it looked like it was written in like Jedi or something on some of them. It was weird up there. And there's no sound, and there's nobody there, and there's just like little light bulb. It was creepy.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Next time we go to the movies, I'm going to show you.
Okay.
And we go down the hallway, and we come down, and we come out of this darkened exit door.
Uh-huh.
One of those where it's like, I don't know if an alarm's going to go off when we push this, or if there's going to be like a clown behind this that's going to decapitate us.
Yeah.
We went out, and then we were on the other side. Bess was way down we had traveled what seemed like farther than we should have. And then we came from the far other direction, and the Bess looked at us with a mixture of amazement and horror. Like, how did you, because she was waiting for us to come out, and we're coming from a whole different direction.
Right.
And Charlie yelled, "Mom, we found the back rooms." And I'm like, we actually kind of did find the back rooms. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
I had to explain the geometry of it. It's awesome.
So it sounds like you enjoyed the back room more than you enjoyed Ant-Man. You paid $200 to see Ant-Man, but check out this room that nobody knows. It's like
the popcorn alone was $700. And we just got the medium.
Yeah.
Would you like to size it up to a bucket for an extra $50,000? No. I don't need that much sodium in my body.
Well,
I did like the movie. I'd like the Backrooms more.
I liked the movie. I didn't love the movie. The Marvel movies are getting less and less entertaining.
Yeah.
The more I watch them, and I loved the first two Ant-Man movies. I just absolutely loved them. And this one, like I said last week, it got weird.
Yeah.
And then it's like I stayed for the two things, the two credits. One has a Loki and a spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Like people haven't already seen the movie. But we took Mom, and Mom hadn't seen either of the Ant-Man movies or Civil War or Avengers Endgame. So she had no clue. And we really tried explaining to her everything she needs to know before going in to see the Ant-Man 3.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I hate that people try to gatekeep the Marvel things. You said somebody said, well, you don't really follow the Marvel universe.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to. I mean, honestly, you like Bess hasn't watched the past like 10 movies, I think, or whatever. We said, and she's like, okay, he's Ant-Man, he's the good guy.
Yeah.
And all those people that look pissy and they're going, those are the bad guys. And he's got to hit them until they stop moving.
Yeah, but still, had she seen the first one, she would have known that Darin was Yellow Jacket, and now he's MODOK.
You know, so what bothered me slightly about that is
MODOK's ass. That's what bothered me. I didn't need to see MODOK's funky ass.
I did notice that. Charlie laughed at that. He looked at me like, which was about as adorable as you can get. Not the ass, the way Charlie looked at me.
I'm following.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I didn't think it looked like that guy. Yeah. Was it that guy? It had to have been that
was
same
him.
actor.
That was him.
It just didn't look like him.
Yeah, it did. Well, his head was flipping huge.
It did make me want to watch House of Cards again, because he was a main character in
House
was
he?
of Cards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's now time for this week's winning numbers. Ready? 9, 23, 24, 40, 81, and 90. Check your ticket and good luck. I'm Dave Lay. Thanks for playing Irritable Dad Syndrome's Winning Number Challenge. Now, back to the show.
Right down the street from our house is a Marco's Pizza. Okay. And we have ordered a pizza there almost every weekend for the past, I want to say, 5 years.
Wow.
Okay.
You really
almost
enjoy
every weekend.
Okay.
Sometimes 2. There have been, on occasion, very rare, but like if, I don't know, we have a party or the kids have a birthday party or something, we'll double up on some pizzas. We've ordered 3 pizzas in a weekend before.
Yeah.
Okay. I walk in and, hey, it's Mr. Cox.
Yeah.
Okay. My name is on the wall.
You've got a tab.
I do. They if Gary answers the phone, he'll ask, "Do you want your regular?" and he will order our regular. We always get a large pizza with very light tomato sauce.
Yeah.
We get ground beef, pepperoni, black olive, and extra cheese. Okay, that's our pizza. We have ordered 1,000 of these. Okay. Angela and Gary run the place, and they love me, and I love them.
Side note, you realize at this point I'm going to call them one of these weekends and tell them I'm Darin and cuss them out.
They recognize my name.
Okay.
Plus when you call the phone, they have the number.
Oh,
and it'll come up.
So I'll have to sneak into your house.
Okay. So my mom moved up, and she's been coming over to our house for movie pizza night. Mom doesn't like black olives.
Okay.
And so we've been ordering one pizza that we like and then another small that Mom can eat something off of.
Yep.
Well, on this particular night, it was just me, Mom, and Cameron. Jacob was off going to see Cocaine Bear, and Libby was off. Yeah, he went to see Cocaine Bear.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and Libby went out with some of her friends. So it was just me, Mom, and Cameron. So I just ordered a pizza with pepperoni, bacon, and ground beef.
No, I noticed no black olives.
No black olives.
Yeah.
No extra cheese.
Okay.
I placed the order, and they said it'll be 15 minutes. When I walked into the store, oh my God, Gary was in the back going, "What do you mean he doesn't want extra cheese? He always wants extra cheese. I'm putting extra cheese on it." And one of the ladies who works there walks up. She goes, "Mr. Cox, did you change your order?" I said, yeah. She goes, "We almost called you.
Gosh.
My Lord. Something's wrong. He's had a stroke. He's been kidnapped. Someone has taken over his personality and is ordering a different pizza."
Yeah.
The look on her face is like,
awesome.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you can't do that.
Threw everything into an absolute
Oh my
dizzy.
gosh. Wow.
It would have been hilarious if they called, though, and said, "Oh, are you sure you want this?" Yeah. So thank you, Marcus.
Yeah, we're going to send you a notification to your iPhone. We need you to enter that number. Call back.
I'm in
and
timeout.
Yeah, unlock the cheese.
So I was mentioning David Letterman at the top of the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, have you seen the U2 trailer on Disney Plus? For
yes.
A Sort of Homecoming?
Yes.
It's going to be so good.
It is.
It's really, really, really going to be. It's going to be special.
Yeah.
I can tell that it's going to be because I can't remember the guy's name.
The Edge.
No, the Bono and the Edge.
David Letterman.
Bono and the Edge and David Letterman are in Dublin, and some of the Edge and Bono's music friends come and play with them.
Okay.
And one of the guys has a beard, and I know who he is, and I can't remember his name.
Rick Rubin?
No.
Okay.
No. Stop guessing because you're not going to guess who
Billy
it was.
Gibbons.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah. Billy Gibbons is going to be there. David Lee Roth. Yeah.
Axl Rose.
Peter Criss. It's going to be amazing. Let's go way back into WLWT history. I used to work at exactly. I used to work at Channel 5.
Yeah.
Back in the 60s and 70s, there was a guy on WLWT named Paul Dixon.
Okay.
And he hosted the Paul Dixon Show.
It's the Paul Dixon Show with Paul Dixon.
And Paul was just this dirty old man who made inappropriate jokes, and the whole audience was full of women with the beehive hairs and the thick glasses, and they all looked like Gru's mom.
Did he have a spittoon on stage?
I don't know about a spittoon. Anyway, so Paul Dixon was on for I don't know how many years, but for a very long time on WLWT.
Okay.
And he did an episode where two rubber chickens got married.
Okay.
That you can look it up on YouTube, The Chicken Wedding. Okay.
All right.
And while I was at WLWT, we ran that again in prime time.
Okay.
Thursday night. In place of where ER usually runs, I think.
Yeah.
And it won its time slot. Okay? People still tuned in to watch a 52-year-old episode of the Paul Dixon Show.
Okay.
Well, word has it that David Letterman, growing up in Indianapolis, they would get a lot of the shows that came out of Cincinnati. He and his mom would watch the Ruth Lyons Show. He and his mom would watch Paul Dixon.
Okay.
And Paul, apparently, is one of the people that inspired Dave to go into TV and helped frame his sense of humor. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got a buddy, Mark Magistrelli. Mark is a producer, and he did a documentary on the Ruth Lyons Show, and it won a bunch of local Emmy Awards, and they ran it over and over and over again on Channel 5.
Okay.
He and I were talking one day. He was in the building doing some stuff, and he says, I'm thinking about doing this documentary now on Paul Dixon.
Okay.
And he and I are brainstorming about what we can do and who we can get, and like local people. We could probably get Michael. We could definitely get Michael Flannery and this person and this person. And then we thought it would be great if we could get Letterman to do this. Letterman did a documentary about Ruth Lyons.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't he do a documentary about Paul Dixon? Right. Well, this all fell at the same time when Letterman was retiring. Okay. From CBS.
Yeah.
So we knew that it was going to be tricky.
Yeah. Well,
So
he's got a lot of time on his hands now.
Well, he hadn't retired yet.
Okay.
And so Mark had reached out through the channels that he went through the first time to get the interview, and they had turned him down.
Oh.
And so I thought, well, I have an idea.
Okay.
And I don't think doing this would be, I don't think we were being pushy at all. I don't think we were crossing any lines. I don't think we were being too anything. Bill Sheft was the head writer, or one of the head writers for CBS, and he was on the Bob and Tom show a lot.
Okay.
Like a lot.
Okay.
And so I thought, our sports guy is like really good buddies with one of the morning DJs at 92.5 The Fox.
Okay.
And I thought, maybe, just maybe, if I could ask our sports guy to get with their morning show guy who could reach out to the Bob and Tom show, maybe they would get us Bill Sheft's email.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's a 4-step plan.
Yeah.
Okay. This could go wrong at any time. Our sports guy could say, Darin, I'm not really comfortable with this.
Yeah.
The guy at 92.5 would say, no, I'm not reaching out to Bob and Tom. They don't do that.
Yeah.
Bob and Tom could have said, no.
What?
No. Why would we give anybody one of our guests' email addresses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I reached out, to our sports guy, and I said, what do you think? He goes, well, I'll see what I can do. 10 minutes later, I had Bill Sheft's email address. I'm like, oh my God. He reached out to 92.5. They reached out to Bob and Tom. Bob and Tom said, sure. He explained, everybody was like, we're doing this for this reason. It's not just some guy who wants to. So I reached out to Bill Sheft. I sent him an email. I said, hey, we're trying to do this documentary on Paul Dixon.
Yeah.
And we know that Dave was a big fan when he was young, and we're interested. And we were wondering if you could help us, get in contact with Dave and see if he would be interested. He replied to me.
Okay.
And he says, hey, you know what? Dave has mentioned Paul Dixon many times. And I agree with you. I think that he would be perfect for this, but I'm not the guy to talk to. You need to go through these channels.
Okay.
You need to speak with this person.
Okay.
And they're the ones who get Dave and...
So you had to talk to Paul.
Well, no, no, it wasn't Paul. I believe it was a woman named Mary.
Okay.
This is where I made a mistake.
Okay.
I told Bill, I said, yeah, you know what? We tried that. And they had shot us down. And so I was hoping that, if we, tried a different way or maybe, and he says, oh, you already reached out to them? And I think his email said, I'm not really comfortable talking about this anymore.
Oh.
that was the end of the email. I'm like,
oh.
So I pissed him off.
Was that true? Had you already reached out to him?
We did. We had.
Okay. All right. Well, you're telling the truth.
Yeah. I'm totally telling the truth.
I thought you were making a play.
And again, no. And again, I didn't think we were being obtrusive or pushy. How many times did they try to get Oprah on the show? Hundreds of times.
Yeah.
I mean, every single night they tried to, to get Dave on the Oprah Winfrey show. I thought they would listen and say, this guy's, being assertive, just really trying hard to do this.
Yeah.
And so then I was all upset and worried that I pissed the guy off.
Yeah.
A month or so later, he's in town with the book that he wrote, Shrink Thyself by Bill Sheft. My buddy Mark went to the signing and told him the story. And Bill says, yeah, I don't remember anything about that. So I was so upset that I'd pissed him off, and he has no recollection of it. And so maybe I did, and he forgot about it. But anyway, we never did get David Letterman to be a guest to do the documentary.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Auto Honk, the new feature for your car that's taking the world by storm. Hi, I'm Dave Lay. And there's nothing I hate worse while driving than having to stop what I'm doing and honk at somebody who doesn't know how to drive. Is there a moron that isn't going when the light turns green? What about that dipwad who pulls right out in front of you when there's nobody behind you for miles? Or how about that hot lady who didn't notice you sitting there in your fully restored, freshly waxed Pontiac Firebird? So, keep your hands on 10 and 2 and let Auto Honk do the honking for you. Download the app today at autohonk.com.
We're heading into our third year of this thing.
Yeah.
And we really haven't asked that many people. We haven't really cold asked that many people to be podcast guests.
Right.
I'm thinking about just going down the list, just finding, I don't,
that's a
Sting.
Yeah.
Let's call up Sting.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
We want to talk to you about tantric sex.
He would come on, and I wouldn't know what to ask him. Right. Like, so were you in the police?
Was that
Cops?
hard?
Yeah. Was that hard? Did you guys like the Police Academy movies? Yeah.
It just.
Do you like cops?
Yeah.
You know what?
This week, let's you and I both reach out to like 20 people apiece.
I'm thinking, look at all those albums over there. I'm thinking about like picking a person associated with each group. I mean, I reached out to Pussifer, and I actually got an email response. I think from somebody like not in the band, but in there, yeah. And I'm friends with the guitarist. I think he friends everybody that sends him a request, but still, friends with it.
I did reach out to David Letterman because Barbara Gaines, his buddy from the Late Show, she follows me on Twitter.
Okay.
And I reached out to her and no response.
Okay.
And I've reached out to Haywood Banks, comedian, and no response.
Yeah.
Michael Flannery, no response. Yeah. Michael would come right now if we called him.
He came to my bushes.
Yeah, I know he did.
Yeah.
So something else about me that I've never told you, I don't think I've ever told anybody, is those fidget cubes?
Yeah.
And this may be something we completely
I said and I lied. I don't really know. I know fidget things. It's like a fidgety thing. Yeah.
I helped kickstart the fidget cube.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You would be living in a mansion now if you'd done that.
No.
Okay.
I remember.
Oh, you paid. You said, hey, I think it's a good idea.
I believe in this product. because I was on the Facebook
Yeah.
and a video popped up with this guy and he's holding the little fidget cube. It has 6 sides.
Yeah.
One side it's got 6 or 5 buttons. It looks like the side of a die, not a dice. One is a die.
Yeah.
3 of them make noises and 2 of them don't,
Yeah.
in case you need to fidget and not make any noise. On the top, it's got like a little plate that just kind of moves around. There's some dials.
Yeah.
There's a little black button that click.
Yeah.
There's clicky things, and the one side has a light switch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
And I think they said for $20, you can help us launch this Kickstart thing.
Yeah.
And if it's successful, we'll send you 2 of them.
Yeah.
And by God, it was successful.
Huh.
And they sent me 2. Jacob broke his. I still have mine. It's black with green little buttons.
Yeah.
But for all you people out there who have a fidget cube, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was because of me.
Yeah.
Your old buddy Darin.
Yeah. I have a story from this weekend.
Okay.
So Charlie is in the basketball. Both of our kids are into basketball.
Yep.
And Charlie's, I know everybody thinks their kid is good, but Charlie's really good.
He
really is really good.
I saw the basket. Yeah.
He's pretty good. We were excited. We were watching it. So it was the deal like you win the first game and then you go on in a tournament to the next game. It was an exceptionally close game. There was one, the other team won by a basket, spoiler.
Yeah.
But there was a point like with 2 minutes to go where, okay, let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
I know nothing about sports. And
Right.
I know that there's balls involved and and they need to go places.
Yes. Yeah. You've mentioned this before.
If I see a football, I know that it's involved in football. If I see a basketball, I know 75% chance it's going to be in a basketball game.
Right.
That's it. But as far as the rules,
I think I know the difference between a softball and a baseball.
Yeah.
I think.
One's
Bigger.
Yeah. So
But
anyway,
it's not softer.
I mean,
It still hurts like hell if you get hit with one.
I ham up my ignorance a little bit. I know like the basics, but still,
Okay.
there's things like I don't know how they do possession. I learned that this weekend.
Okay.
So apparently, the guy running the possession indicator wasn't paying attention during one of them and forgot to flip it. And I know this because I'm sitting in the front row
Because the game is
on the
rigged
court.
and the ref clearly wants the other team to win.
Exactly. I know that he screwed up because a parent next to me yelled out "black ball" at the top of his lungs right next to my face.
Yeah.
It scared the piss out of me.
Yeah.
And then Bess's friend Barb was there too. She yelled "black ball" and then other things under her breath. And then the whole group of parents and friends and everybody on the side of the thing that we were on started yelling "black ball, black ball, black ball." And the ref,
Attica!
yeah,
Attica!
the ref was right in front of us. And he, kind of turned around a little bit, and they're like, "Did you see that? It's black ball. It's our ball. It's the ball." And I lean over. Andrew is my counsel during these situations. He's my attorney.
Yeah.
During these moments, and I'm like, "What is he talking about?"
Right.
So I get it's a jump ball. I'm like, I didn't see anybody jump. He's like, they don't jump. It's the last time they had possession, this team had it. So the next time it does, they're fighting over, where like they grab the ball and the refs do the thumbs up.
Yeah.
They're supposed to flip the possession. I'm doing my best. I really am.
God love you.
I'm
You
doing
really
my
are.
best.
Yeah. And he kicked the ball through the big H.
But he explained, he speaks idiot to me.
Okay,
I can understand.
He dumbs it down
He
for
dumbs
Dad.
it down. He
Yeah.
knows how to speak dad moron. And he said, they go this way, then it goes that way. Oh,
And if it
okay.
goes through, it's 2 points.
Yeah. And so another side note is my other son, Andrew, does do announcing. So that's
he does.
kind of like, he
And he's
knows.
pretty good at it.
He is
Yeah.
pretty good at
Yeah.
it. So, but he knows to dumb it down for daddy.
Yeah.
So I got it. And then I'm like, hey, black ball. I got into the thing.
Now,
I got into the throng.
Because I know blue ball.
Yeah, that was not a problem.
That's not a okay.
That was not a problem. in this game.
Okay.
And so they ended up and Charlie got fouled at the very hard. He got knocked off of his feet and down in the middle of shooting a 3-point.
Okay.
It was weird to see your kid got knocked and then cheer. Everybody was cheering because Charlie usually makes his free throws. They were down by 2 points. Everyone thought he's going to make 3 free throws and win this game. They didn't call the foul. and they had already not done the possession thing. So the parents are losing their minds.
Yeah.
And it ends, and the guy that does possession comes out, and Bess's friend Barb, God bless her, went over and confronted the possession guy nicely. So
Right.
can you just explain?
I'd like to know what the hell's your problem.
Yeah. Are you sure the possession worked? So all that is to say, I felt really bad for Charlie, not because his team lost.
Mm-hmm.
I felt bad for him and for the other kids in his team, because even to a basketball idiot like me, a person who really doesn't know what they're looking at,
Right.
it was clear to me that those two calls. You remember we talked about the Super Bowl,
I do.
and I couldn't understand the thread.
Yeah.
This one, it was clear that if those two calls hadn't gone that way, that they either would have won or it would have been really close.
Yeah.
And it was heartbreaking. The kids were not upset. They were taking it. They weren't being jerks, but it was heartbreaking for me to watch them see, oh, we lost.
Yeah.
And we should have had foul shots, and that really should have been our ball. And that's just how this works. You know, it was like watching a kid, an innocent kid, see, oh,
Yeah.
the system screwed up.
Yeah.
And I know the political climate that we're living in, and somebody's out there saying, you're sitting there talking about some basketball game. I am. I'm also talking about a young kid,
Yeah.
just like seeing this play out in front of him. And it hurt me a little bit watching that, you know? But
you know what?
Shrugged it off.
I think it comes down to what this is. These are little kids.
Yeah.
It was a mistake.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any ill intention.
I don't think there's a global conspiracy.
Right,
There was talk
Yeah.
of a global conspiracy.
Yeah.
There was, well, I think that could. Look at the colors he's wearing. I bet he is for the other team. I'm like, okay.
He's wearing black and white. Yeah. Yeah.
I was very proud of how he played. I'm very proud of when Andrew plays, how he plays, how they conduct themselves.
Yeah.
Charlie can't help it, and it's cute. He will make the calls for the refs. Like
Yeah.
if he sees somebody dribble, he knows the thing for it. I don't even think he realizes he's doing it. He'll see a kid double dribble and he'll just do this.
He
I'm
does
like,
he
wow,
does the thing with the
He
hands.
calls over, and
He's like,
Andrew,
yo, ref. Yeah.
Andrew sitting next to me will like make the calls before they hit. He'll be like, just out of the blue, he'll be like, traveling. And then the referee goes, traveling. Like, how the hell did you know that? He's like, because he traveled.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of this means.
Well, I know traveling.
So this year I've learned how possession works. I've learned over and back. I get that.
I don't know what over and back means.
You don't know what over and back means?
I don't know what over and back means.
You can't, like when you're bringing the ball in, you go across the half point line. You can't go back over the half.
I did know. I know that.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know they called it that.
Because I always thought, well, why don't they just go back out and try it again? You can't do that.
Yeah.
Somebody thought of that already. Otherwise, Jordan would have been doing that left and right.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that we do that I think is hysterical, I've mentioned it, and I've said it time and time again, that my wife is one of the funniest people I know. Absolutely, because of her delivery.
Yeah.
Okay, when she drops something, it's hysterical. So when we went to our Super Bowl party, I told her, I said, you've got to do your football joke. And then, of course, she doesn't remember what the football joke is. And I had to remind her, whenever there's a big play or something, or a team takes over the lead, or a team does something really stupid, that's when Libby looks at the screen and goes, oh, come on, special teams. Right?
Yeah.
And coming from her, it's hysterical. Because coming from me, people know I'm an idiot. Right?
Yeah.
And so we're watching the Super Bowl, and she's just watching the game. And she's watching. And I leaned over, I'm like, do the special teams joke. And she says, what? I said, do the joke. And she's like, well, I'm supposed to do it now? And then there's people listening.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you... What? And she's like, special teams.
And now it's over.
Yeah.
You can't really.
Yeah. So I take back what I said about her being so... I mentioned that my buddy Don and his wife Janine and their daughters, Maggie and Julia, came to visit. They spent Saturday night at our house. Now, Maggie's 15 and Julia's 12. And I had a conversation with them about the new language, because you and I last week talked about bet.
Bet,
right?
yeah.
And I asked them, I said, do you say bet? And like, yes, we do.
Bet.
And then
did they say bet when you said, do you say bet? Yeah, bet.
And they, Libby asked if they still say pog, and they don't say pog anymore.
Yeah.
I asked if cap, I think Cap is on its way out.
I've never heard. Yeah, you're the only one that's told me that.
I think Cap is on its way out.
Okay.
They still say sus.
Yeah.
And God, I sound so flippin' old asking them.
Yeah.
But I've decided, and you're going to join me on this.
Do they say whippersnapper?
Yeah.
Is that one gone?
They say tomfoolery.
Okay.
And these kids are up to some shenanigans.
Yeah, and who's it's, what's it's,
Yeah.
and the old whatchamacallit.
Yeah, bang, zoom. So the new thing, and we're going to start this on our podcast, is That Is So Dent.
Okay.
Dent. Okay.
Yeah.
Whenever something is off the chain, you mentioned on fleek.
Yeah.
Dent makes on fleek look like nobody's business.
Yeah, put a dent in it.
Exactly. It's sus.
Dent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So That Is So Dent.
Yeah.
And Maggie and Julia both said that they would bring it to school. I've talked to my sister-in-law, and she is going to take that to work. I told Libby when she goes to the hospital, and she is going to start spreading it at Children's Hospital. She's going to spread Dent.
Okay.
We are going to make Dent happen.
Yeah.
And Maggie's like, so we need to stop making fetch happen, but we can make Dent happen. Yes, we can. Yes. So Dent 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I was a kid and growing up, I consider myself an idealist.
Yeah.
And I like to be part of something, and I've always wanted to be part of something that would bring change to society.
Yeah.
And that being a part of the Dent movement.
Yeah.
That's something you could put on your tombstone. Dad, he was Dent.
He was Dent. Absolutely.
Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Bone Sucking Mustard and listeners like you. Thank you.
I wanted to mention real quick before we're almost out of time.
Yeah.
I've been hitting it big on the...
That's what she said.
Yeah. No, on the Instagram.
Oh.
On the stupid... I've made... Over the past couple of months, I've made some comments that have really generated some heat.
You've been Dent.
Okay, I have been so Dent.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I told you about the one, there's a woman on a boat and what's her name? And I made the joke and it got like 1,000 some likes.
Yeah.
And then there was the guy who puts the tape over the electrical outlet. And I made a comment about, I did that once and I woke up and one of my kidneys was stolen. I was in the bathtub. That got over 1,000 likes.
Yeah.
My most recent one is there's this video of it's a Komodo dragon.
Okay.
And it's in a convenience store.
Yeah.
And it's climbing up the shelf.
Wait, it's in a convenience
It's in a convenience store.
Okay.
It's in like a 7-Eleven in Mumbai, India.
Well, they get thirsty.
They do. They need everybody needs a big gulp. There isn't a man, woman, or child alive who doesn't enjoy a lovely beverage.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So this Komodo dragon is climbing up the shelf, knocking over right and left.
They don't give
and
a
the
shit.
caption is, "What is this animal?"
Yeah.
And then I said, "That's my pet, Larry. He's a seeing eye emotional support dragon." This has got 1.5 thousand likes.
Wow.
And about 30 comments. I have a Twitter page that I've had for like 14 years. I can't get more than 2-3 likes on any of my tweets, but I can say this on the Instagram, and I get over 1,000 likes. Larry, my emotional support seeing eye dragon. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
If I could tap into that, if I could get, like this podcast, if I could get 1,000 and some people to listen to one episode, to download it, that'd be awesome. Our most popular episode has 401 downloads.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
It's not even
Do it for Larry, the emotional support seeing eye dragon. Come on. We got time for a question.
Okay.
Jim Timmerman, longtime contributor of the show.
Yeah.
And this may not be funny, but he said that there is a Dear Irritable Dad Syndrome. Within a couple of years, they should have the birth control pill for men to take.
Okay.
And he asked if either of us would be interested in taking the birth control pill.
No.
I said no because I've had the vasectomy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have a vasectomy?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I got the snip.
Yeah.
My balls look like I hit with a bat. It was painful, but I did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something else you don't. Fidget cube vasectomy.
Did you go to a cheap place where they hit your balls with a bat, or did they actually do an operation?
No, they yeah. I mean, it was in a van behind an old Blockbuster
They
video.
take you out back and they live you. You can get the Dent.
Yeah, it was. I was not dent that day.
Okay, all right.
Oh, it was not on fleek either.
I don't want to say I pride myself on not taking any pills. I just don't. I don't really. I mean, I take like vitamins, but that's it.
Yeah.
I know at some point I will have to take a medicine.
Yeah.
Like regularly. At some point, a doctor's going to say, "Whoa, that number should be lower than what it is.
I'm probably going to have to start taking blood pressure medicine.
You need to take these things."
Yeah.
And I'm trying to hold that off as much as possible because I know me.
Yeah.
From that point forward, my whole life is going to be, honey, did I take the thing?
You got to get one of those trays.
I don't want to get one of those
Monday
trays.
through Saturday. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
That's in the same way I'm not getting a glasses chain. I'm at the point where I have to use reading glasses. But I'm not walking around with the chain. They go, why not? You look cool. No, you know.
No, you
cool
don't.
with the chain.
No.
No, you don't. And then somebody said, "Well, get the ones that are magnet in the middle." And they
the OptiGrab.
Yeah. Like no.
Everyone will be cross-eyed, like in The Jerk.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it reminded me of.
He's trying to shoot these cans.
I'm trying to hold off all of that as much as possible.
Yeah. Jim, thanks for your question. All right, well, everybody, listen, thank you so much for listening. We want you to go to irritabledadsyndrome.com, and you can download, it's like, so our audience in Dayton, if you enjoy watching this episode, you can download the audio version of it.
We actually produce it.
Yeah.
Like we do things to it.
Exactly.
Because we know nobody wants to consume this. So
no, and so the TV version of our show is just the raw recording of it.
Yeah.
And we edit out any curse words we might accidentally
we
put
edit out what could put us in prison or cause fines.
Or get us taken off the air.
Yeah.
Right. So we edit out any curse words, and it's got to be an hour long.
Yeah.
Our audio version of the show is way longer. We can do whatever we want to with it. We add a lot of commercials and music, and Dave Lay, the guy who announces the top and bottom, and he's really getting screwed on the TV version.
Yeah.
And I feel bad. Also on the audio version, you hear a lot of Fred Willard going,
Hey, what happened?
And then on the Patreon, if you follow us on there, you do the Patreon, then you get the raw feed with all the fixins.
Yeah.
Be forewarned.
Yeah. So
as wonderful as this
there's
sounds,
3 different ways to listen to this podcast.
And we just realized this past weekend going through these is that there's stuff in the TV version that's not in the podcast, and there's stuff in the podcast that's not in the TV version.
So
we're not doing that on purpose. That's just because you're editing the podcast, I'm editing the TV thing, and just we have different sensibilities of what should go in there.
Exactly. Well, John Mellencamp once released an album, and the version that went to Best Buy had these 2 bonus tracks. The version that went to Walmart had these 2 bonus tracks.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? You trying to get people to go buy all of them? Yeah, sure he was.
You want to, the people
we want you to watch the show and listen to the show.
You put the tracks in the Target version for people that are buying Charmin.
Yeah.
You put the tracks in the Walmart version for people who are buying meth.
Yeah.
How you do that.
And Red Band tobacco.
I'm a mel pouch. Pouch.
But,
oh my gosh.
The plug. You got to get the plug. Yeah. Anyway, we want to thank you for listening, and we hope to see you next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
I tell you what, I love this podcast. And if loving Irritable Dad Syndrome is wrong, I don't want to be right.
I'm waiting!
This is what happens when you take a podcast off the rails,
That's
kids.
right, that's right.
We've never seen that happen before.
No.
You gotta be careful with that, because the main character in my favorite book of all time is Arthur Dent.
Okay, I've got it. So your panties are going to get in the wad because I'm making a joke about the word dent?
They're already in the wad.
Yeah, that's true.
In a wad.
That explains.
Not the wad. There's no the wad.
I was in a band called The Wad.
Hey, how you guys doing? All right, I'm... You're getting Monday Night Mike. Yes. That should be our tagline.
Just like this, but stupider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.